Hey everybody, welcome back to another Game Over Time discussion. Today we're going to be talking about possible timeline convergence in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Not Wind, which is a mistake that I made a bit ago, Wild.
And even Nintendo and everyone else has made that mistake.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. So, there's a NeoGAF thread posted. When was this posted?
June 16th, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah, June 16th.
June 16th, talking about something that we've probably all been thinking about, Breath of the Wild. The Temple of Time popped up, so it must be in the Ocarina timeline. Bridge of Eldin popped up, so it must... Wait, that's in the same timeline, isn't it?
Bridge of Eldin popped up, which also supports the idea that it would be in the Ocarina of Time line.
Yeah, but Ocarina of Time is where it, like, splits, so...
Majora's Mask timeline.
Yeah, so that's, like, the hero's downfall timeline, I think.
No, that's Child's timeline,
Oh, right.
I think. Yeah, because Majora's Mask is a direct sequel, and it's him as a child, so yeah. Child's timeline.
The resting place of the Master Sword is very similar to A Link to the Past and Skyward Sword.
But like the lighting and how they portray it is very much like A Link to the Past, but the background is more like Skyward Sword.
Yeah, so that doesn't tell us a whole too much because Skyward Sword happens in every timeline.
But then A Link to the Past is in a separate timeline than Majora's Mask side of things.
Right. Which
and then
makes it even more confusing.
And then Koroks from Wind Waker are in the game, which is another timeline if I remember correctly.
Yep. Then there's the old man from... he's either the old man from the Zelda 1 and 2 timeline, that's the hero's downfall timeline, isn't it? Where Ganon beats Link in Ocarina?
Yeah.
Or he could be, as people are thinking, the King of Red Lions.
Which would be pretty cool.
Hylia statue from Skyward Sword also appears to be in the Temple of Time. There's...
a
you do it.
UFO?
Yeah, which might be...
A Twilight Portal?
Yeah. So there's elements from all three timelines. Which timeline is it in? Nobody knows, which is why this theory's come out, that it's a direct sequel to Zelda 1 and 2 primarily, but the timeline converges at this point.
Which would be good.
Yeah.
Because the timeline's messed up.
Yeah.
Streamline it.
Mostly because there wasn't a timeline until Nintendo, around the time of Skyward Sword, was like, hey, we can tie this together and make money off of it. And then they did.
And Hyrule Historia happened.
Yep, that's a cool book.
Yeah.
People are also thinking that because Link wakes up in that futuristic thing, maybe he's a previous Link who's just been asleep for a while. Which I don't quite see. He's probably...
How old does he look? Like, how old is this Link? Can we get? Obviously, he's at least 15, 16. But is he older than that, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe it's like some sort of cryostasis thing.
Because this is very much more of a tech era versus a magic thing.
Yeah, which is kind of like unprecedented.
And cool.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know which Link this would be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, maybe it's Wind Waker Link, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
All the water.
Speaking of Wind Waker, there was a screenshot taken from the Treehouse presentation showing Link getting an item called Rock Salt, which is crystallized salt from the ancient sea. Like, what other sea is there that you could just call the sea? Probably the Great Sea.
So yeah, it's pretty likely that this is all timeline convergence, and hopefully they fix up the screwed up timeline that is Zelda.
I wonder if they kind of planned all this out back when Skyward Sword was made and they made Hyrule Historia. If they planned for it to eventually converge, just to get fans all excited and stuff.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But
one thing's for sure, this absolutely has to be the most recent timeline, or the most recent game in the timeline. Because like not only is a lot of stuff like the Temple of Time kind of like in ruins now, and there's technology, but also the Master Sword and the logo is rusty.
But I do have one question. If this is a previous Link who was like in some form, what's it called?
Cryostasis?
Cryostasis, sorry. Then why would the Master Sword be in the original spot?
That's the question. I have absolutely no clue. I don't think he is a previous Link.
Because every Link has a Master Sword, correct? Everyone.
I believe so.
I'm trying to think if any of them like diverge from that, but I can't think.
Zelda 1?
That one?
Doesn't Link just get like the white sword?
No, he does not.
Okay, that's interesting.
All right, so no, because I'm looking at the Zelda wiki and it says the games that's been in, and it lists almost every one except Zelda 1 and Adventure of Link.
So is it possible then that sometime after Four Swords, Spirit Tracks, and Zelda 1 and 2, when a lot of time has passed, maybe they've not needed the Master Sword, they've kind of like discarded it and forgotten what it's called because it's been so darn long?
Yeah.
Like,
and
I think that like I mean like has all this happened before Zelda 1 and 2, and that's why they've forgotten its name. It's kind of like a cop-out thing, and that's probably not true. It's probably just inconsistency with these games being the oldest and whatnot, and the concept not being around, but I'm not sure.
But because if we're looking right now, Triforce Heroes, they did not have a Master Sword. Admittedly, Triforce Heroes is not a traditional Zelda game whatsoever.
That's true. Link wasn't really like fighting a major villain, was he?
And in Legend of Zelda and Adventure of Link, the Master Sword might not have been needed at that point.
Right.
So, and the Adventure of Link is a direct sequel, correct?
Yes.
Like same Link?
Yeah.
So, and someone else, also NeoGAF user pointed this out too, that Link has been asleep for 100 years. He could be the previous Link.
Right.
Which would be the Zelda 1 Link.
It would be interesting if this was that Link.
So let's say it is that Link, then why would it have all the other timeline stuff?
I have no clue.
Unless something happened. Well, if it is all the same timeline, that means the Ocarina of Time exists.
Right.
So that would also, like the actual Ocarina itself. So maybe when he was asleep, someone used that Ocarina and it kind of messed everything up. And
right.
It all and everything that has happened, like a parallel universe kind of way.
Mm-hmm. I think. Okay, so in the Majora timeline, certain things happen that don't happen in the Wind Waker timeline, but it seems like all of them managed to happen in Breath of the Wild. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a way for the timelines to converge. Is it possible that, like no matter what happens after Four Swords or Spirit Tracks or Zelda 1 and 2, Ganon manages to go away afterwards, or whatever happened, and then that leads into Breath of the Wild? Like, could it be that Breath of the Wild is, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. This is kind of complicated.
I'm guessing that something happened because what happens at the end of Adventure of Link? That is one Zelda games I've not played or read about at all.
Let me go grab Hyrule Historia. I love having a reason to do this.
We have Google, you know.
New generation doesn't appreciate books.
I appreciate books perfectly fine, but I appreciate a few clicks as well.
I know, I'm just saying that it says it, like, right on the timeline. After the Adventure of Link, the resurrection of Ganon is prevented.
So what if Link...
So yeah, this is bizarre.
So Ganon did not exist then after the Adventure of Link.
Right, he was just gone for good.
So then why does he exist in Breath of the Wild? Because he is the villain. If I remember correctly, because I think in one of the Treehouse events they said if you want to go face Ganon right away, you can.
I don't know if they said Ganon, but I know that Beast Ganon did appear for a second in the trailer. So
they said there. Ganon. I'm 90% sure that in one of the Treehouse Live events they said if you want to go face Ganon, you can. Or Ganondorf, whichever one. Maybe something happened after the Adventure of Link where, in order to stop Ganon from rising to power, they had to put Link to sleep. Which obviously didn't work, so no.
It's definitely weird.
So to sum this all up, this timeline is messed up, and it's probably converged somehow, and I don't know how they're going to manage to explain why it is that way.
Yeah, we can't reach a conclusion, but I'm going to reach a conclusion anyway. It's probably just a weird dream sequence of some sort. Brad had that idea, I think.
Yeah, Brad mentioned that.
That's like the only way I can see 3 completely like impossible to merge timelines merging. Because like you can make the argument that maybe the Bridge of Eldin started construction before the timeline split. Maybe I don't know, Wind Waker couldn't have happened. It's just weird. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Maybe the way I thought about it is maybe this is again like a dream sequence, and it's the first Link dreaming, and it's more of like a symbolic representation of like how Hyrule always needs a Link, and there will always be this, and then it's less following a storyline and more of a message behind it. If Nintendo wants to get deep, which they probably won't. So
maybe.
I don't know. That was my idea, that it's somehow the first Link after, like, you know, his thing dreaming about everything that will happen. I don't know.
It's really weird.
I just hope the story is really good in this game, because I really want a story-driven Zelda game.
I think the everything in this game is going to be good.
I hope so. I mean, I have faith. Because
Yeah.
they put so much time into this, and it looks to be really good and everything I've wanted out of a Zelda game. But I don't want to get my hopes up either.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if this game might just be a reimagining of Zelda 1.
No. We don't need Star Fox.
Well,
No.
no. With Star Fox, it's the difference from like Nintendo 64 to Wii U, which is nothing. But this, it would be the difference between NES to NX, and that's like that's going on 40 years.
Oh. No, it can't be a reimagining, because that means they're just going to keep on doing reimaginings until they finally get a reimagining that they like, which will never happen.
Or they'll just take Zelda 1 and 2, non-canonize them.
Maybe it's the Link from Hyrule Warriors. Maybe Hyrule Warriors is actually canon.
But in Hyrule Warriors, they explained it. Like, this game doesn't have like a continuity. I'm pretty sure everyone went back to their own timelines afterwards. Everything is convoluted.
And it's Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching Game Overtime. We will see you all later.
Bye.